Over the past few weeks, I've constantly been getting ads for an app called Ultimate Circle of Fifths. Now the first 20 or so times that I got this ad, I just skipped it. I didn't pay too much attention to it. But then about a week or so ago, I finally decided to go ahead and check it out, and I must say that I'm actually pretty impressed. I think the app is super useful, and I thought a few of you might be interested in checking it out as well. So why don't we go ahead and pull up the app and see what it's all about. So this is Ultimate Circle of Fifths. Now this app's main function is to ease the process of developing chord progressions. So what they have done is they have taken the Circle of Fifths and they've made it interactive. And not only have they made it interactive, but they have done it a lot better than any other attempts that I have seen over the years. So anyway, back to the app. We have the circle, which consists of 7 different chords. So you can go ahead and touch any of these chords and it will play it back for you. Woo! That sounds good. Now let's say that I really like this chord. I can go ahead and use it to help create my chord progression. All I have to do is touch where I want it to go out of these 4 bars. We'll just go for the first bar for now. Just like that. And now I like this chord, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in the second bar. That's already in there. Yeah, that's easy. I'm going to put this E minor into the 3rd bar. And this one here can be my last chord, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that in the 4th bar. Just like that. So now I've got this little chord progression. Let's go ahead and play it. Now that I have my chord progression, I'm going to go ahead and show you one of my favorite features of this app. So I can actually touch this button here, and now I'm given the option to export the progression as a MIDI clip. So I'm just going to export the progression, and then I'm just going to send it over AirDrop. So now I can just go over to my laptop, and I can just drag in the MIDI clip. Just like that. So that took me under 30 seconds to create the chord progression and then get it from my phone to my laptop, loaded into Ableton. That is pretty amazing. Now let's go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into some of the app's other features. So let's say that I want to go ahead and change the key that I'm working in. All I have to do is just turn the wheel and choose whatever key I want. Now, what if I want to change the wheel to minor mode or any other mode for that matter? Well, then I can just go down here and I can choose any mode that I want. Just like that. You can even change things like tempo or add extra bars to the composition to create a rough song structure. You can also choose from a couple of other instrument sounds to match the mood of the song that you're writing. Now the instrument choices are pretty limited and you aren't able to customize the sounds in any way, but because this app is a songwriting tool rather than a music production studio, I don't have any problem with this at all. So that is pretty much all of the features of the app. There isn't really too much to it, but I think that the simplicity works in the app's favor. If I was given the option to customize things like synth sounds or add drum loops or anything like that, I think I'd end up wasting too much time. I'd be getting too distracted. I would much rather just use this app for a couple of minutes a day just to create a new chord progression which I could then export to Ableton Live. I honestly think I'm going to be using this app a whole lot in the future. I already know my way around chords, but every single time that I go to pull up my MIDI keyboard to record on something, I usually end up playing the exact same chord progression every single time, or some sort of variation. So I think this app will really help me branch out by creating different chord progressions and maybe experimenting with things like key changes and all that kind of stuff. Now, do I think that you should go out and buy this app? Well, if you don't really have any music theory knowledge, or you're like me and you feel like you're stuck reusing the same chord progressions over and over, then I definitely think that this app is worth it. The price of the app is a little bit high for something that has so little features, but honestly, the one feature that made it completely worth it for me is the ability to export your chord progressions as MIDI clips. And not only to have them exported, but to then have them imported into Ableton Live in under 5 seconds, thanks to the ability to AirDrop. If the app needed you to connect your phone to your computer just to transfer the MIDI clips, I definitely don't think that I would be as impressed as I am, and I kind of feel like my opinion would be different overall. Now, I must say that my export-import process is a lot faster because of the fact that my setup consists of an iPhone as well as a MacBook. So your experience may differ a little bit if you're using something like Windows, for example. And one last thing, I wouldn't really recommend this app to anyone who doesn't have any music production experience. I don't think this app would be as useful for anyone who's not looking to bring these chord progressions into something like Ableton Live or FL Studio, unless you are an acoustic singer-songwriter artist and just want to jot down a quick chord progression to write melodies for, then that is perfectly fine. So to wrap things up, I better clarify that I've not been paid to make this video, and my opinion has not been influenced in any way by the creator of this app. I know I didn't really highlight any negatives at all, but that is honestly just because I haven't had any real issues with the app at all. I'm really glad that I finally gave into this app's Instagram marketing campaign and decided to pick it up. I'm sure it will help me out a whole lot in the future and help me create better music. Anyway, that's going to be everything for this video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.